Hello, in today's episode, I'm going to talk about three simple things that you can start doing today to help you get back from the brink of burnout and to start getting some balance back into your life. So there's many things, of course, which can lead to burnout. Some of the early warning signs are feeling tired or drained most of the time, feeling overwhelmed and exhausted, sometimes feeling alone and experiencing a lot of self doubt, as well as procrastination and taking longer to get things done, no matter how hard you're actually trying. If you know that you're on the edge of burnout, and you probably do, it's really important to be kind to yourself and to recognize that it isn't something which simply goes away on its own. It's not something which you can simply push through. So, first of all, welcome to this channel. I'm Sarah Kent, and I have the great privilege of working with women to help them to create their dreams so that they can live a positive legacy with their lives. If you'd like to get in touch, I've popped a link in the video description below. Now, I live and work now from my off-grid narrowboat home, but it wasn't always this way. I've come close to being completely fried, completely burnout twice in my previous career. And for me, it took some quite radical lifestyle changes to, on my part, at least resolve the causes of my burnout so I could ultimately live a life that I love. Burnout really isn't something that goes away on its own. And it can actually worsen unless you address the underlying causes and issues. So, the simplest way I found to understand burnout, particularly in my life, was to think of my life energy as being a cup of water. I was working long shifts in a job which I found ultimately unfulfilling. And when I was doing that, I was slowly emptying that cup. I found myself utterly exhausted at the end of each day. And my days off were largely spent recovering my energy and just trying to get back to the status quo. Eventually, despite my own best efforts, my cup of life energy was pretty much empty. And there just didn't seem to be anything I could do to refill it. Unless, for me, I completely reassessed my life and started making changes. So, if you're experiencing some of the early signs of burnout, this is a sign that you're probably giving too much from your cup of life energy. This is the time to start addressing what's really going on. Because if you do ignore the signs of burnout, it could cause further harm to your physical and mental health in the future. And I should add that I'm not a medical professional. If you are experiencing the signs of burnout, stress, I really do encourage you to go and seek professional help and advice from a medical professional who can support you as well. But from me and my experience, there are some simple things that you can do to help keep burnout at bay. And I'm going to share three of them here. The first one is simply to take regular breaks. Um, it can be easy to put off relaxation and recovery time and put that off until we have a day off. Um, but certainly from my experience, that wasn't enough to prevent burnout. And research shows that making time for smaller breaks throughout the day, even just 10 minutes or less, this is a really important way to help us to manage our daily stress levels. These mini breaks can help us to manage and actually recover, to bounce back a little bit from the stress of the day in real time. And that can actually help to improve motivation, concentration, and our energy levels. So try setting an alarm to remind you to take these mini breaks throughout your day, where you briefly disconnect from work stresses and just check in with yourself. If you can, move, get up away from your desk, from your work position. Um, Look out of a window, take a few minutes for yourself, go make a coffee, perhaps have a quick chat with a colleague. And actually make this a break from your phone too. So don't just hop onto social media in your break. Engage in the real world that's around you. Go outside if you can, or perhaps take your coffee and drink it by a window where you can at least look outside. See what difference taking mini breaks makes for you during your day and what it does for your energy levels. Okay, the second thing is to focus on the things that are actually in your control. So sometimes, because let's face it, life is complicated, we may choose to stay in a job which is stressful and in which we have little control. If this is your situation, it's even more important to recognize where in your life that you do have some degree of control and agency. So make sure that you do get enough rest and learn when to say yes to something as well as when you need to say no. So this can be something as simple as recognizing when an activity is going to replenish your cup of energy or when something is going to empty it. So tune into how you're feeling in each moment and work out what will support you best, what you need to say yes to and what you need to say no to. Excuse me. So you may want to take or have an experiment with something that's called an energy audit. So use a diary or your journal, or even just make a spreadsheet and keep a log of your energy levels hourly. You could do it half hourly and do this religiously for a week, along with what you're doing and thinking about at the same time. At the end of the week, look back and notice what patterns begin to emerge. These will actually help you to identify what boundaries you might need to establish to help you to replenish your cup of life energy. Thirdly, and this is a simple one, do what you love. So, doing what we love is one of the simplest ways to restore our energy and our passion for life. So, what are the things that you love doing? What lights you up or makes you feel happy? It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. Sometimes the simplest things in life are the ones which actually really matter to us. So make a list of all the things that you could do which help you to replenish your energy. And if you find that challenging, go back to when you were younger or even a child and remember the things which lit you up then. When you've made your list, can you pick out any common themes? What are the things that you are most passionate about? How could you start incorporating these things back into your life? No, it was John Irving who said, if you're lucky enough to find a way of life you love, you have to find the courage to live it. So, the way to create a life you love is to fill it with things that you love doing. And yes, at the beginning, this may take courage. Sorry. And this is because making changes takes courage. And that's exactly what you're doing when you take steps to do more of what you love. So, well, let's see if my voice will get us to the end of this episode. let's break this down a little bit more. So, step one, simply decide what it is you're passionate about. Think about who you are and what your interests are, what your dreams or your calling is. What kind of things get you out of bed in the morning? It might also help for you to speak to those around you and ask people what they notice. What is it that they notice that makes you light up and approach life or work with excitement and enthusiasm? So you may not need to change your jobs, but maybe simply change your approach to your work so that you can actually enjoy it more. Step two is to be courageous. So know that you can do this. Take some action today, because as we all know, tomorrow never comes. So make a commitment to yourself, to set yourself some mini goals and targets, to start doing more of what you love and bringing some positive change into your life. And find a way to celebrate when you've done that as well. And the third step, be courageous and keep going. Change is a process, it's not instant. So this may take time, but if you're truly making steps towards doing and living what you love, both you and those around you will notice the positive shift in your energy and your approach to life. So the key is to remember that you're not alone. A coach or a mentor can help you as you begin to make the changes in your life and create a life that you love. And of course, you've got your own support network. It could be friends or colleagues and family. They may also be a source of encouragement for you. So I really hope that you found this helpful today. My raison d'etre is helping women to live extraordinary lives. And I've created an ebook that's full of simple practices to help you keep your life in balance. It's completely free for you to download, and I've put a link in the comments if you'd like to have your own copy. Thank you for listening today and watching and bearing with me with my croaky voice today. Until next time, be extraordinary.